Here's a quick tutorial on how you can create animated scenes inspired by Stranger Things upside down environment. I will quickly animate 2 images for you. So let's start with this one. As per usual, I will extend the image to a 30 seconds long, and note that all the animations as well are 30 seconds, as you can see. So first things first, I will start with a heavy rain. Now we have 2 rain versions here. This is one rain and another rain that has a splashes on a ground. So I'll take this one. Then in video basic, where's the blend? We set it to screen. Next I will add these pulsing tower lights. Again, we drag it, make sure the blend mode is set to screen. Let's scale it down. Let's see. Okay, scale it down even more, and I will place over there. Okay, like this. Hold Alt button, drag it up to duplicate, and I will move it to another place. So have the second effect ready. Then we have this red glow that is great for neon signs. Let's set it to screen again, scale it, and place it over the sign that you have. It's a subtle effect, but in the end, all these subtle effects that create an interesting environment and interesting scene to look at. Okay, so we have 3 effects added. Then the next thing, there is a car emergency light. Now we have this orange box that we drop into the scene. Let's reduce opacity first of all, so we can see through the box. Then we go to mask and we select a pen tool. And with the pen tool, we're gonna make a selection of all emergency lights on the car. Okay, selection is done. We can go back to basic and increase opacity to something that we like, and let's not forget to change the blend mode again to screen. So I will keep something around maybe 50 or 60. We can go back to mask. We can increase the feather a little bit for each of those masks. Just a touch. Okay, so we're not done yet. Then we take one more time the same car emergency light box. We go back to basics and we reduce opacity. We go to mask, add mask, and we create just the small patches on the floor, just to give a nice extra reflection over there, you know, for extra realism. Nothing too specific, just random shapes. Create random shapes, and then for each of those shapes, let's increase feather. And go back to basic and adjust opacity to something subtle. Okay, so here it's how it's looking. And then the last but not least, the glow effect for each of those emergency lights. So we drag it again in the timeline, we scale it down, we set the blend mode to screen, and place it over the light. I will reduce opacity, and then by holding Alt button, I will duplicate, and I will add another light, and then duplicate one more time. Just like that. Alright, we can select all the files of emergency lights, select all of them, right click, create compound clip, and we can set again to screen. So, but this way we have a more clean timeline. And then the last animation we can add here, probably one of my favorite ones, is the red storm. So we add it just above the image. We again set to screen. We go to mask. And now we select the sky area. And let's increase the feather for each of those masks. Okay, if I make it full screen, and here's how it's looking. Right, looking good. So I will delete everything here, and I will add another image. 30 seconds again. This time we will add searchlights. So let's start with one. Again, as always, blend mode for this one goes to screen. Scale it down if needed. but I'll place one of those right here, and there's another one. Again, scale it down, screen mode, and how about I'll place another one right there. Okay, so we go back to mask, and I personally like to select parts where this animation should be hidden, like this. I select, and you press this button that says reverse, and it will reverse the selection. Add a little bit of feather. I'll do the same here. All and press reverse, add some feather. Here's how animation is looking. You know that you can always increase the speed. If you're keeping a 30-second video loop, you can increase the speed of, for example, these searchlights by going to basic. No, I'm sorry, if you go to speed, change duration to 15, and then by duplicating and adding next to it, you will still preserve a 30-second video loop. But in this case, you will make this one animation faster. Now, if you feel like, you can always reduce opacity. Now, next effect, I will have a helicopter here that is actually looking for L, and hopefully he will not find it. And what I'll do here, I would like to place it in this part of the scene. And what I'll do, I will mirror it to flip it, the direction of it. So let's scale it down, let's place it here. Then to match it together with the scene, we go to basic curves, and I'll take the Luma and I make it darker like that. And then there is one trick that I use from time to time, depending on the background. So you reduce opacity and just look at that, how well it blends with the environment. Okay, and then I have another helicopter here. Now again, I will scale it down, and this helicopter is going in circles. This is also a loop. We're gonna adjust the colors exactly the same by going to adjustments, Luma. By going back to video basics, I will reduce opacity, as if the helicopter is partially covered by atmospheric fog. And would you look at that? Then, of course, how the upside down without the red storm. Again, we add it. I will add it just above the image. We set it to screen, and we create masks. And make sure to add feather. And then the final effect we're gonna add are the floating particles or spores. Here we go to basic, we set it to screen again. I personally like it to reduce opacity to maybe around 60 or 70. Then, and as you can see, we have the particles floating. Now, if you feel like adding more, all you have to do is just hold Alt, duplicate, then by going to this button here, press reverse, and what it will do, it will start this video from the end towards the beginning, and this way you have more particles floating. And for this video, you can adjust maybe opacity to give a feeling as if those particles are more further away. So here is the final video. This is how it's looking. So I trust you will enjoy this animation pack. I'll see you in the next video.